Welcome back to ORA Shorts. As most of you know, this is our weekly product presentation, short product presentations, and where we are going to share other missions of intrigue with you in the future. We're going to move from our regular hacks onto some other intriguing endeavors. We invite you, of course, to please check out our Pinterest as well as our YouTube page, where you'll find ideas for your lighting applications and our lighting product presentation library. All that's stored up there, as well as we are keeping our chit chat video up now with over 300 views, dig it, is there for those who may not have had a chance to see it yet. You may even want to watch it twice. It's pretty good stuff. We also invite you to share that O'Blaney Rinker Associates is supporting City Harvest. For those of you who don't know, City Harvest is New York City's largest food rescue organization. So please keep them in mind. Now, a few notes about our presentation. We are going to mute everybody. That will keep the background noise to a dull roar. The chat bar will be open as always for your questions, and Carl will answer those at the end of the presentation. Also, for the best viewing experience, you can adjust your screen arrangement at your end with speaker view on your screen. Now, about our feature manufacturing partner. Today, we are very excited to share our handrail partner, ETI, with all of you. In business since 2001, Efficient-Tec International offers a complete handrail solution for your code-compliant projects. ETI's S3 stainless steel system, handrail solutions can meet any requirements from the standard line of products or with modifications and variants from an in-house engineering team and fabricating staff. All products are manufactured in the USA. Your solutions are all here, whether you're using the LED illuminated handrail, standard guardrail, stairway handrail, or spiral staircase handrail. ETI is your one-stop shop and engineering partner for any rail project and application. Now, to cover the handrail portion of this product offering is our very own Carl Jenkins of O'Blaney Rinker Associates. Carl, thanks for sitting in. What you got?
James, thank you so much for the introduction. I really appreciate it. Like you mentioned before, my name is Carl. Thank you for coming to ORA Shorts. Kick back, grab your cup of coffee, and we're going to discuss ETI functional rail lighting. So just like James said, they've been in business since 2001. They offer complete handrail solutions for code-compliant projects. Now, I have a screenshot here of all the things that they can do: cable rail, closet systems, freestanding rail. But we're going to concentrate specifically on the rail for this presentation. So there are a lot of products within their lines, but what's interesting is that all the products are turnkey. So once you take from their site, pick it and build it, it's going to be set, but they have an engineering staff and a fabricating team that's amazing. So challenge them, bring them your ideas so that we can take your ideas and bring them into life. Like mentioned before too, they're manufactured in the USA. And what does that mean? Well, they're underneath the Buy America Act. So check it, you can see it, but everything is done underneath one roof from one building. So just to reiterate what they have: handrail, lighted handrail, standard guardrail, as you saw in this picture that we just passed over in Boston. They have stairway handrail, spiral staircase handrail. Basically, the idea is to keep your vocabulary of light that's in your product and keep it unison, keep it together, and make sure that you can take ideas from interior and bring them to the exterior, as you see in some of these pictures, and keep the light looking good. So what I like to do is ask a question of all the architects and lighting designers that are with us this afternoon. What does every job site that we do have in common? Well, we see here in this picture of UCLA Saxon Hall in Los Angeles, California, there's people. We're the major input of these projects. We need to enjoy it. We need to be safe while we're enjoying it. And obviously we need the light to give us the safety that we need. So stairs, ramps, paths of egress, elevators, hallways, they all need illumination. They're a major part of design. They affect the space, the flow of the space, and also drives the lighting that's being specified there. So with that in mind, let's focus on just staircases. Stairs specifically and ramps in commercial buildings especially have a safety code that needs to be met. It cannot be deviated from. And there are two codes for us to keep in mind when we're going over this. That's the ADA and the IBC. Now, what do those mean? Well, the ADA is the Americans with Disability Acts, and the IBC is the International Building Code. Now, stairs have a code that are required for handrails, but also for illuminated handrails. And it's all with safety in mind. Like, for instance, you're not going to have an illuminated handrail with 277 or 120 volts because that'll be a deadly shock. But these are things you want to keep in mind. So those will be low voltage. But it provides a very unique opportunity for us as specifiers. How so? Options and controls. In other words, both requirements get covered. You could kill two birds with one stone. Think about it. Look at this small picture that we have here. The lighting designer that put this handrail in, which needed to be there by code, has an asymmetric throw, a regular symmetric throw, to make sure that the foot candles are met on the staircase in the hall that you're doing, and also provide the safety. They were code compliant. And the best way to describe this is, yeah, you want to go look up all the codes for the jobs that you're working on, but what if it's in Florida? What if it's in Colorado? Do you know what their codes are? Well, you wouldn't have to overly stress yourself out with that if you come to us at O'Blaney Rinker, because us partnered with ETI can make sure you have the right codes. We're essentially like your navigation in your car. We're always there to get you around any type of traffic, any type of road construction, so that the road to your completion of your product is always as smooth as possible. It also adds three other effects. One, it lowers the installation cost. How does it do that? Well, they're both coming in one, so you're not contacting more than one vendor to get everything delivered and put together. Two, it reduces design and engineering time. And it does that because once that design is set, ETI delivers everything together. So it rolls along with the spec that you put together. And last but not least, three, aesthetically superior finish for space and design. This little caption that we have here is from a naval field in Philadelphia, PA. This was a custom job. They went to ETI and said, we want the wires to go through, we want them to look a certain way, and ETI was able to pull it off. And just to not belabor the point, but think about the detail. This is the second page of a cut sheet from ETI when using a lit rail. If you notice on the left there, that's where the light engine's at. And even shows you how deep the screws need to be to go into the wall. Also, where it's located and how it's going to be installed. You see, the light source, mounting, wiring is all in one place. Imagine the amount of time you could save by using them. Next, we have here a little bit of a walkway to a pier. But if we take a step back, what does ETI have in their hat? What's the feather in their cap? They have 21 different standard designs to choose from off the bat. That's not too much, not too little. So you're not going to overwhelm the end user, but you're going to give them plenty of choices to make their design unique. You have 316 stainless steel, 6061 to 6063 aluminum alloys, brass, bronze. When you're talking about handrail, you have round, square, rectangular, oval, even one-off custom designs. And that's the reason why I put this picture in here. That handrail is really low. It's not for children, but the design of this was to cast light a certain way on that walkway and give it that effect. That was a one-off design. Now here I have the Warner Robins Enforcement Center in Warner Robins, Georgia. Now what's interesting about this picture is going to really give us an understanding of the diffusion aspects that ETI could accomplish. If you notice, there's a couple of floor grazers on the front of the facade of that building, but look at the handrails. Look at how even the light is all around, the uniformity. On top of that, take a look at the infills. So this one has metal bars, and the last one we saw like a cable line. So you have the ability to use glass, cable, metal, there's a metal mesh, anything to make your design unique and make it stand out, but obviously make it easy for anyone to navigate. Last but not least, we have the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. Now, again, I want to point to the uniformity of the light. Imagine not having to go in and make any adjustments. You see, ETI is fabricated domestically, sourced with heavy gauge railing, metered or miter sawed, welded corners, smooth factory finishes, and all that's done under one roof. So if we look at this one job, those rails were delivered in 16 and 17-foot lengths. So they came off the truck, ready to be installed immediately. You weren't pulling tape from one area, metal from another area, screws from another area, trying to get them all to land in the same spot to finish this job. They came ready to go. So in effect, this is a complete luminaire when it's placed, ordered, and built. But you know what? Instead of me going into more slides about that, why don't I show you some samples? Alrighty. So I'm set up over here. Let me just get my camera going. Okay. So what I have here is, I'm going to start off with the Zarya. Now, what's interesting about this was the mesh that I was talking about before. I want you to see the attention to detail on that. It's like an overlapping style, folded, but even look at the construction. And the one thing that definitely frustrates me about Zoom Life is that when we're in your office, I can bring a sample and show you how the weight of it and how well it's made. You can see all the weld points, how it's put together, how it's mitered. But if you're thinking about using this product, imagine it's sitting there exactly the way you had it set up. The next one I have is the fell. Now this one is going to be for glass. Again, I want to draw your attention to how it's made, its construction, even how the screws are inset, how everything is smooth, and how it's set up. So with here, imagine you place this and put your glass in the center, cut it at a certain angle to give you the look and the effect that you want. Next, I want to show you the Zarya. Now, what's interesting about this one, it's also made for glass, but notice the standoff. Again, another aspect that ETI offers. Now, if we're to put this one and we want to use it, let's say, as a barrier on a rooftop, we can place the glass here and actually have it go further up to add more safety to the space. Also a nice design for it. Now, I know from, again, living on Zoom, light doesn't really transfer that well, but I want to show you guys something. So I have a sample here called an alien. And I'm going to put my hands down, and if you notice, so this one's darker, this one's brighter. Well, it's the type of diffuser used. One's going to be milky white, the other one's going to be ribbed. And the idea behind that is, again, since we're lighting designers, we have the ability to actually construct this to throw the light where we want it to actually design not only aesthetically, but also with light for the projects that we're working on. Let's go back over to the computer. So if there's one thing that, here we go. So if there's one thing that I definitely want everyone to walk away from this from, is to know that this is a complete luminaire. When it's designed, when it's put together, when it's delivered, it's in one piece. You're not piecemealing this. You're able to get through the design from the very beginning. And a matter of fact, along with that, ETI offers their own factory tech that shows up and actually does field dimensions for you. So comprehensive cut sheets, as well as someone's going to make sure how you lay it out is the way it's going to be delivered. It's a win-win. So I definitely don't want you to take my word for it. Send us some specs. Let's work on it together and show you exactly what we can do with ETI and O'Blaney Rinker. But now I'd like to open it up and ask anyone if they have any questions.
Sold. Thank you, Carl. Curved handrail. Did you mention that ETI can do curved handrail and has
Yes.
assorted finishes?
Yes, I did. Yes. So the curved handrail, they have spiral handrail within their repertoire. And again, 16, 17-foot pieces. Once they have that information, they'll be able to make it as high as you need it to go. And as far as finishes, they're capable of using RAL colors as well as custom colors, anodized effects, and a special wood grain effect based on what you need.
Gotcha. And as far as power supplies go, integral or remote, would there be a full set of engineered drawings that ETI provides showing this information relative to the electrical drawings?
Yes, I wish I had more time because I would have showed you the first part of that cut sheet. But yeah, there'll be remote drivers. They're going to be shown exactly where they're going to be located. But also, since a lot of these are used for ways of easement, they're going to have backup generators too, so that it can stay on in case there's any issues for emergency. So they're able to do that with the remote drivers.
Got it. So they are also American made. They qualify under the Buy American Act, and they ship everything out of Texas. Was that also accurate?
That is also correct. Prior to COVID, they were looking at between 11 and 12 weeks for delivery. But most important, I want to stress, we have a checklist that we go through. We want to make sure we have all the information, because once that's done, they move fast to get your product to your location.
And while ADA and the building codes address the national standards, will ETI also assist addressing local codes to the municipality that the material is being installed in?
The answer is yes, and there's a very cool background story to that. ETI actually helps with writing those standards. So they're familiar with some of them because they actually pen them. So it's the perfect company to set up with to make sure your job is correct.
Got it. And if someone wanted to see samples of the handrail, how difficult would that be to manage?
One phone call to a Blaney Rinker, and we'll get it over to you.
Well, I think that's all the questions in the queue. Yeah, that's everything in there. And I want to thank you for a very, very comprehensive presentation. What else is there to say? Guys, we are your solution for handrail design and assist. So with that, thank you very much. We no longer are doing the hacks, so we would normally be doing that now, but we are going to be changing that up a little bit. And hopefully next week when you join us, you'll learn something new about where we're going with that. We invite you each Thursday at 12:15 and 3 o'clock to join us for these presentations. We thank you for spending the time with us. Always, your support for Blaney Rinker Associates and ETI products. Hope to see you all next week, and please stay safe until then. Be well.
Take care, everyone. Thank you, James.
Adios.